Hello there. Jorkin. Are you guys ready for this thing that Twitter doesn't allow to exist on its platform? With how bad it must be? My brain is already, like, afraid. Oh my god, can I just knock more things over? Yeah, whatever. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything is totally fine. Everything's good. Hello. Hi. Hello, it's me. Hi. Hello. I made it. A very special thank you to my unfinished journey for the 2 super chats. Greatly appreciated. But he's going to a friend's birthday lunch, so we'll probably catch up later. So in the replay, hola. And thank you so much for your support. Alright. Hi, everybody. My audio is really low. Is it still low? Is it still low now that I moved where I'm sitting? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, yeah, welcome to the research dossier by J.D. Vance. Last updated February 23rd of 2024. Which is basically just the beginning of this year for anybody watching this in the future who just went down to go and double check the date of this video. Which I know you did because you were a smart cookie if you found yourself all the way over here. Low. Everybody get low. Is that better? I lost my hat. I lost my Tim Pool hat. Alright. Hello. Welcome. Oh. I slept in. Okay. Are we ready for this dossier? Oh, hold on. Let me... Watch your ears. Watch your ears. There we go. Hey. Hey. We need that Weird Al grammar song. Teach you the nomenclature. Oh, God. Oh, we might have to zoom this out a little bit. This is 271 pages long. Table of contents, executive synopsis, dossier notes, potential variables, top hits, background information, personal information, J.D. Vance, election rules, campaign finance, voting records, education records, public compensation records, military records, lobbying records. Ooh, isn't that the thing that in the Project 2025 they were like, no, lobbying's bad unless we're doing it. Criminal records, police records, real property records, bankruptcy judgments, legal issues, business records, nonprofit records, professional recreational licenses, personal financial disclosure, Vance's anti-Trump record and establishment ties. Vance was opposed to Trump's candidacy during the 2016 election. During the 2016 campaign, Vance was described as a never-Trumper. During the 2016 campaign, Vance indicated he believed the women who accused Trump of sexual assault. During the 2016 campaign, Vance linked racism and xenophobia to Trump's base of support. Vance has suggested there was no sign of voter fraud in the 2016 election. Vance once implied that Trump is prone to lying. Vance appeared to be critical of Trump's comments surrounding the events in Charlottesville. Hey, you guys remember Charlottesville? Early in the Trump presidency, Vance indicated Trump was failing on his legislative priorities. Vance at times appeared dismissive of efforts to highlight fraud in 2020 election. Vance served with the American Enterprise Institutes, an organization with ties to Trump criticism. Vance is an alum of the website formerly run by David Froome, a known never-Trumper. Vance has ties to various additional Trump antagonists. Vance has been previously described as a moderate with Democrat tendencies. Vance previously heaped praise upon Hillary Clinton. Vance has previously heaped praise upon Barack Obama. Vance has praised Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders. Vance appears to have once indicated that Joe Biden could have beat Trump in 2016. Probably. Yeah, I think I would probably agree with that. I think that makes sense. I think, yeah, coming off of the Obama administration, yeah, probably. Yeah, he'd have a good chance. I think I can see. Prone to lying. Yeah, and I'm prone to smelling bad if I don't shower once a month. Very funny. Following the end of the Trump presidency, Vance praised Trump's policy and was an active supporter of his 2020 re-election. Vance questionable conservatism. Vance once admitted that working class Americans benefit from Democrat policies. It says, like, everybody knows that, right? Like, is there anybody who actually doesn't know that? Vance once criticized Trump's core domestic policy priorities. Vance was critical of the Trump administration's 2017 tax cut bill. Vance has expressed support for increasing the capital gains tax rate. Vance has called to raise taxes on U.S. businesses in certain circumstances. Vance appears to support higher taxes for individuals without children. Vance has somewhat flip-flopped on cuts to the federal budget. Vance has previously signaled support for distorting the free market with federal subsidies. Vance has questioned conservatives for prioritizing America's business. Vance has indicated he supported union priorities over that of American business. Ooh, that's big scary. That's big scary. Vance has been critical of free market economy priority. Vance worked as a contributor for an organization that expressed skepticism of Trump's America First trade agenda. Yeah, that trade agenda was not great. You know, you don't get very far in negotiating with other people when you're like, me. Early during the Trump administration, Vance questioned whether Trump should be credited for the booming economy. Correct. I would agree with that. Opponents could suggest Vance is hypocritical for his criticism of big tech. Vance opposed the Trump administration's efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare. Vance has previously indicated some hesitation concerning school choice initiatives. Hey, that's the thing we were just reading in Project 2025. Hey, Original Nelson, what's going on? We're looking at the Vance dossier. You know, that thing that is so problematic that it gets banned and yeeted off of Twitter every time it shows up. Like, not even just the dossier gets banned. Whoever posts the dossier gets yeeted off the thing. That's why, if you'll notice the title of this stream, I'm gaming the system. No one will ever catch me. Vance has previously indicated... Oh, no, I read that. Vance has expressed support for aspects of the left's extremist climate agenda. Support for it? Oh. Vance was critical of Trump's suggestion to build a U.S. southern border wall. Vance was critical of Trump's proposed travel ban. Vance previously blamed U.S. businesses on the border crisis. Oh, interesting. It's funny that, like, you get a travel ban because you're racist. The conservatives and the Republicans, MAGA Republicans, are fine with it. You get a travel ban because of, you know, terrorism. And now they're like, oh, whoa, hold on. The January 6 people. Or you get a travel ban because, or restrictions to travel because of a worldwide deadly pandemic. Look the fuck out. I bet you could convince MAGA people to wear masks or get them to enforce masks on other people, and they would just not even realize the hypocrisy. Did I not put the link to this down below? It's a PDF, so I'll have to. It's linked in the Discord, I believe. But I'll if you want a copy of it. But it's not like on a website. It's just a PDF that's going around. Vance has previously taken positions that undermine the religious right. Oh, yeah. Vance's controversial foreign policy record. Vance criticized the Trump administration for the airstrike that killed Qasem Soleimani? Soleimani? I think I pronounced that right. Vance has made controversial remarks concerning Chinese patriotism. Vance appears to have flip-flopped on his support for the Iraq War. I mean, I definitely understand people, particularly like any individual that was like, I don't know about this. Okay, I'm for this. Okay, I'm not about this. The Iraq War was, the way it was presented to the people was very confusing. So I definitely kind of understand people like flip-flopping back and forth on that. I feel like that's not even flip-flopping at that point. That's just like being confused and then like seeing the results and what's actually going on. And I'm a little bit sympathetic towards that. I remember like the Canada wasn't really for that. Canada was like, why are we here? I don't understand this. And also, we would appreciate it if American soldiers would stop shooting our soldiers. That'd be lovely. Thanks. From my understanding, that ever since like that happened, Canada has not been engaging with America in the same way since, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked that closely at it. Anyway, at least I haven't heard any about it in the news. Vance appears to have embraced non-interventionism. Vance has been one of the chief obstructionists to U.S. efforts to providing assistance to Ukraine. Vance notable vulnerabilities with moderates. Vance has taken populist view on global free trade market or great free trade agreements. Vance appears to have once called for slashing Social Security and Medicare. Vance is opposed to providing child care assistance to low-income Americans. Vance appears to oppose student loan forgiveness programs. Vance is opposed to expanding healthcare access across to all Americans. Vance expressed a series of controversial views during the COVID pandemic. Vance's support placing restrictions on abortion access. Vance has expressed controversial views concerning American universities. Vance has published pseudo-Christian values encouraging the traditional nuclear family. Vance appears to support laws requiring business to close on Sundays. Vance appears to oppose the legislation of marijuana. Vance pushed Trump to nominate controversial figure Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Oh, God, ew. Oh, God, Brett Kavanaugh. Ugh. Vance has taken a series of controversial positions concerning race relations. Vance has taken a series of other controversial positions on various culture war topics. Vance has ties to various controversial figures. Vance's additional personal and political foibles. Vance's Our Ohio renewal has been heavily scrutinized by critics. Vance's time working with Revolution LLC creates a series of notable vulnerabilities with America First conservatives. Vance was also involved with Steve Case's Rise of the Rest Fund, another controversial role. Vance appears to have enjoyed a luxury lifestyle since becoming a published author several years ago. Vulnerability stemming from a hillbilly elegy? What? I don't know what that is. Vance ties to circuit therapeutics could create vulnerabilities. Vance's ties to Innovate Ohio could create vulnerabilities. Vance's ties to LED could be vulnerabilities. I think that's just LED. Vance's ties to Mithril Capital could create vulnerabilities. Vance's ties to Naira Capital could create vulnerabilities. And then there's an appendix for fiscal and economic, healthcare, environment, education, immigration, public safety, criminal justice, foreign policy and defense, social and cultural issues, political, personal and professional. So here's the executive synopsis. So I wanted to like go through that and then the synopsis as well. Like usually I would skip that, but I wanted to give people an idea of what this was actually going to contain. So now that we know what's actually in there, let's take a look at the details. Dossier's notes. In preparing this background report, we undertook an examination of all readily available and relevant electronic and online records, several hundred nexuses, and news articles, dozens of active and archived web pages, and several dozen public records from Nexus, and the resources of various federal, state, and municipal government offices. The result of our analysis are contained below. Typographical note. Hi, Puck. How you doing, buddy? You have a very cute face. You have a very sniffy nose. Nose. Dog nose. Come here. Hi. Hello. Are you done? Is that everything? Okay, goodbye. Gone like the wind. In and out. Like a fart in the wind. You sniff him, then he's gone. What if we find out that he's somehow tied to the company? But I would lose my mind. I would delete my channel. I would stop existing on the internet if I found if that happened. I am leaving. I'm not coming back. I don't want to play anymore. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. Topographical note. There are a number of articles quoted in this report that contain typographical errors. These are from the original text of the article and have not been corrected when being quoted directly. Nice. That's good. I like that. Are you back? Hi. I don't have any food. I don't have anything for you. You're very cute. Potential vulnerabilities. Potential opposition narrative, anti-Trump record, and establishment ties. J.D. Vance's political journey has been marked by notable shifts and contradictions, making his stance on Donald Trump a subject of intrigue and critique. During the 2016 election, Vance openly opposed Trump, announcing his intention to vote third party and expressing doubt about Trump's effectiveness. His critical views extended to likening Trump to heroin and dismissing the MAGA movement as a quick high. Described as a never Trumper, Vance declared his opposition on public platforms, asserting that Trump was not the ideal candidate for white working class voters. He was correct. In 2016, Vance allied himself with Trump's accusers, tweeting about allegations of sexual assault and implying a skepticism of Trump's honesty. He connected racism and xenophobia to Trump's base of support, emphasizing radical resentment among Trump's followers. Vance's association with the American Enterprise Institute, an organization critical of Trump's, adds another layer to his political affiliations. As a former writer for From run by known never-Trumper David Frum. Vance's connections to Trump antagonists became more apparent, despite initial moderate Republican and Democrat tendencies. Vance shifted his stance, actively supporting Trump's policies and encouraging votes for him in the 2020 election. Vance's political evolution raises questions about the consistency of his views and the influences shaping his positions. Potential opposition narrative, questionable conservatism. J.D. Vance's political views display a nuanced landscape, revealing a range of positions that traverse traditional party lines. While acknowledging the benefits of certain democratic policies for working class Americans, Vance has been notably critical of aspects of the Trump administration's agenda. His skepticism extends to Trump's core domestic policy priorities, expressing doubts about their effectiveness and seriousness in moving the country forward. And that's because he's not trying to move the country forward. He's trying to move the country backwards. Hi, my unfinished journey. Tell your friend we all from the Goblin trash can say happy birthday. There's dozens of us. His skepticism extends to Trump's core Democratic ideas. I just read that. Vance diverged from Republican orthodoxy by criticizing the 2017 tax cut bill and supporting higher taxes on capital gains, U.S. businesses, and individuals without children. In a departure from conservative economic principles, Vance has questioned the emphasis on America's businesses, criticizing corporate interests and economic initiatives for company relocations. Relocations. He has signed support for strengthening labor unions, opposing right-to-work laws, and advocating for reforms like sectoral bargaining and labor representation on corporate boards. This stands in contrast with the traditional free market priorities. While Vance opposing Milton Friedman-backed policies and emphasizing the nuclear family over free market principles. Vance's stance on healthcare reveal further deviations from the conservative playbook as he opposed the Trump administration's effort to repeal and replace Obamacare, expressing concerns for those potentially losing access to healthcare. Vance urged against Medicaid cuts. On environmental issues, Vance acknowledges climate concerns and dismisses the return of coal jobs. Vance also is known to have been criticized. Vance is also known to have criticized Trump's border wall proposal and travel ban. He attributes the border crisis to business interests seeking cheap labor, aligning with Trump's rhetoric but diverging on some points. Do you guys have any idea how nice this is to read something that isn't like riddled with ChatGPT errors and propaganda? Top hits. Privileged and confidential. Top hits, political. Voting history and party affiliation. Since 2018, Vance has failed to vote in at least 4 elections, including the 2020 primary election. Vance was not a registered Republican voter in Hamilton County between September 2018 and May 2022. Lobbying ties. While not a lobbyist himself, Vance's old law firm, Sidley Austin, lobbied on behalf of several controversial clients during his tenure with the company. Between 2014 and 15, Sidley Austin lobbied on behalf of Purdue Pharma, the makers of OxyContin, who had billions of dollars in criminal and civil penalties related to the opioid epidemic. Oh, no. Between 2014 and 2015, Sidley Austin lobbied on behalf of multiple Chinese Communist Party-affiliated companies, including Alibaba and Kaisei Group. In 2020, Alibaba is a Chinese company. In 2020, Alibaba is a Chinese company which operates e-commerce platforms, was named by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as a company Pompeo urged American companies to remove their digital networks. Kaisei Group is a Chinese real estate firm that was probed over alleged links to a former state official involved in a graft investigation. Anti-Trump record and establishment ties. 2016. Vance was opposed to Trump's candidacy during the 2016 election. As early as August, which is not capitalized, 2016, Vance has announced his intention to vote third party as opposed to voting for Trump. Vance was accused of effectively voting for Hillary Clinton. During the campaign and after the election, Vance doubted Trump's ability to be effective in office. Vance criticized Trump's statements and policy proposals. Vance said Trump's election would be terrible for the country. Vance compared Trump to heroin and mocked MAGA as a quick high. During the 2016 election, Vance was described as a never-Trumper. In an October 2016 appearance on The Charlie Rose Show, Vance declared he was a never-Trump guy and never liked him. Vance claimed that there was a willingness from people who think a lot like I do to say Trump was, quote, going to be a terrible candidate and that you were an idiot if you voted for him. Have a good time at the birthday party. During the 2016, Jesus Christ, Vance said Trump was not the best candidate for white working class voters. He is not. During the 2016 campaign, Vance indicated that he believed women who accused Trump of sexual assault. In 2016, Vance indicated that he believed one of Trump's sexual assault accusers over Trump and mocked Trump for not telling the truth. In 2016, hi Red Eye, good to see you. It's been a while. In 2016, it was reported that Vance tweeted, quote, "What percentage of the American population has at real Donald Trump sexually assaulted?" End quote. That's funny. Oh no, he had a sense of humor? Oh, what a shame. Could you imagine if he's just LARPing? Like, he just gave up on politics and was like, I'm just gonna LARP. Watch this. Watch my grift. Watch me grift. Now watch me nay-nay. During the 2016 campaign, Vance linked racism and xenophobia to Trump's base of support. In 2016, Vance said people who, quote, might be described as, if not as racist, at least as expressing some sort of racial resentment, were supporting Trump. In 2016, Vance said, quote, there are people who are drawn to Trump because he says racially insensitive things, end quote. In 2018, Vance was still an opponent of Trump, citing his race-related policies. Vance has suggested there was no sign of voter fraud in the 2016 election. General criticism. Vance once implied that Trump was prone to lying. In 2017, Vance criticized Trump for saying half-truths or lies so frequently, quote, that you stop actually taking the president literally. Hello, welcome. Vance appeared to be critical of Trump's comments surrounding the events of Charlottesville. Following the Charlottesville protests, Vance said that Trump, quote, really missed an opportunity to name this phenomenon and gives people a sense of where it comes from and shows the moral leadership people want from a president, end quote. Vance said Trump was, quote, ambivalent or too cautious about coming out and criticizing, end quote, racism and Nazis. Vance said that Trump failing to unite the country following Charlottesville was a, quote, missed opportunity. Early in the Trump administration, Vance indicated Trump was failing on his legislative priorities. In 2017, Vance said, quote, I think you hear from a lot of different people if you're on the ground in these areas, talking to people, is a broad recognition that things aren't going fantastically well right now, end quote, regarding Trump's legislative priorities. Past JD Vance would like to have a word with current JD Vance. Yeah. Vance, quote, a bigger problem, I think, is the feeling that the big pushes that the president has really made on healthcare are some of these other issues haven't really materialized, end quote. Vance noted there was a, quote, sense that the president just isn't able to deliver, end quote. That's what she said, but we've all had relationships like that. Let's be real. 2020 election. God damn, no wonder Elon keeps yeeting this off of Twitter. Vance at times appears dismissive of efforts to highlight fraud in the 2020 election. After the 2020 election, Vance said people questioning the 2020 election results would not become violent and also said Biden would be inaugurated. Additional anti-Trump ties. Vance served with the American Enterprise Institute, an organization with ties to Trump criticism. Vance is an alum of a website formerly run by David Frum, also a known never-Trumper. Vance has ties to various additional Trump antagonists. Vance has said he's, quote, good friends with Mike DeWine. Vance has previous ties to the notorious Trump critic John Chesh. Vance previously supported notorious Trump critic John McCain. Salute to John McCain. I miss Republicans like John McCain, I'm not gonna lie. You know, people with, although we disagree on policies, people who had to get, like, at least a monochrome of integrity and, like, seemed like at least respectable individuals. Liberal, like a candidate when running against Obama stopped a woman who was just making these blatant statements that came from Trump about like birth is like the birthers that are like, hey, he's not even American, like Obama, and John McCain actually stopping that woman and just saying, no, we don't do that here. Liberal tendencies and ties. Vance has been previously described as a moderate with Democrat tendencies. In 2016, Vance said, quote, "I'm frankly not a libertarian in the sense that I think the government has no role in fixing," end quote, societal problems. In 2017, the American Prospect's Robert Kuttner said that at a recent conference he attended with Vance, quote, sounded almost like a Democrat. In 2017, Vance was described as a moderate Republican. Vance previously heaped praise upon Hillary Clinton. Vance praised the 2016 Democratic National Convention while criticizing the Republican convention. Vance said there was a chance he would vote for Clinton if Trump has a chance to win. In an op-ed, Vance recalled a time in his life when he, quote, admired President Clinton. Vance has previously heaped praise upon Barack Obama. Vance has praised Obama for offering hope and said he would, quote, miss him as Obama was leaving office. Vance characterized Obama's guns and regulations comment as well-intentioned. Vance has praised Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders. Vance said Bernie Sanders was his favorite Democrat running in the 2020 Democrat primary. Hey, do you guys remember when Democrats had primary elections? You guys remember when that was a thing that used to happen? They gave up on that one, I guess. Vance predicted that Trump was part of a political realignment that would position Trump and Bernie Sanders on the same side in 20 years. Biden's 2016 comment. Vance appears to have once indicated that Joe Biden could have beat Trump in 2016. Current. Following the end of Trump's presidency, Vance praised Trump's policy and was an active supporter of his 2020 re-election. In 2021, I, quote, ultimately pulled the trigger and encouraged a lot of my friends to, ellipses, pull the lever for Donald Trump in 2020. Vance, quote, I was really happy with the policy and also that's what caused me to become a Trump supporter, end quote. Vance has attacked Trump's ban from social media outlets. Vance blasted calls from Democrats to hold former Trump administration officials accountable once he left office. Questionable conservatism. Overall economic, societal. Vance once admitted that working class Americans benefit from Democratic policies. Vance once criticized Trump's core domestic policy priorities. In 2017, Vance reflected on Trump's core Democratic policy priorities, claiming it was, quote, not looking especially good right now, end quote. Vance, quote, I just don't see the evidence that we're being serious about policies that are necessary to move the country forward yet, end quote. Fiscal and business. Vance was critical of the Trump administration's 2017 tax cut bill. In 2018, Vance criticized Republicans for living in the 1980s with the party's tax and health care reform policies. Get with the times, old man. Vance criticized Republicans for cutting taxes for wealthy and cutting social safety net. In 2019, Vance criticized the 2017 tax reform laws as, quote, okay, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It should be noted that Vance was also critical of the Bush-era tax cuts. Vance has expressed support for increasing the capital gains tax rate. Vance has called to raise taxes on U.S. businesses in certain circumstances. Vance appears to support higher taxes for individuals without children. Vance has somewhat flip-flopped on cuts to the federal budget. In 2017, Vance warned that GOP budget cuts were evidence that Trump and Republicans in Congress were not focused on, quote, core constituencies. In 2017, Vance noted he supports using government spending to solve social problems. However, Vance supported the 2011 Ryan budget. Vance has previously signaled support for distorting the free market with federal subsidies. Vance has questioned conservatives prioritizing Americans' business. Vance previously criticized conservatives for prizing corporate interest. Vance criticized the practice of offering economic incentives to companies to relocate. Vance has indicated he supported union priorities over that of American businesses. Vance previously indicated that he opposed right-to-work laws. Vance has criticized GOP donors for pushing antagonism towards unions. Vance signed onto a report calling for reforms to greatly strengthen labor unions. Vance and other signers of the report called for conservatives to consider allowing sectoral bargaining, works councils, and requiring seats for labor representatives on corporate boards. Vance has been critical of free market economic priority. Vance opposes Milton Friedman-backed economic policies. Vance has called for prioritizing American nuclear family over free market principles. Vance has worked as a contributor for a think tank that expressed skepticism of Trump's America First trade agenda. Early during Trump administration, Vance questioned whether Trump should be credited for the booming economy. Opponents could suggest Vance is hypocritical for his criticism of big tech. Healthcare. Vance opposed the Trump administration's efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare. Holy shit. Excuse me. In 2017, Vance criticized Republican efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare under President Trump, claiming he doesn't, quote, love the plan at all. Vance warned that the people who would, quote, lose out most in the GOP-led Obamacare replacement bill were the ones who voted for Donald Trump. You know, it's a psychological thing that is very, very, very common for people, and it is working against your own interests and being your own worst enemy. Get out of your own way, and you'd be surprised what you can do. Vance, quote, those folks, they very well see their deductibles go up, their premiums go up, ellipses. There's obviously a significant issue of folks potentially losing access to their health care, end quote. Vance claimed, quote, folks back home, end quote, were worried about the GOP-led Obamacare reforms and, quote, about losing the Medicaid expansion and most worried about losing their health care, end quote. Vance warned that the bill suffered from core deficiencies, claiming, quote, millions of people were losing health coverage either through Medicaid or through another mechanism. Vance urged Senator Rob Portman to vote against the House-passed bill to repeal and replace Obamacare due to its Medicaid cuts and tax cuts. Vance, quote, I don't understand why that is such a big focus of the House bill, ellipses. Don't have a health bill and use it to cut taxes, end quote. Educational and environmental. Vance has previously indicated some hesitation concerning school choice initiatives. Vance has expressed support for aspects of the left's extremist climate agenda. Vance previously suggested the U.S. has a, quote, climate problem. Vance previously acknowledged that coal jobs are not coming back. Vance previously said natural gas would not take us to a clean energy future. Immigration. This is a little bit interesting. Vance was critical of Trump's suggestion to build a U.S. southern border wall. Everyone and their mother. That was the dumbest thing ever. I can't believe he ran on build a fucking wall. Americans are stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I don't know how you win when a part of your base is build a wall, put some bitch in jail. Like, what, are you kidding? It's okay. I believe in the Americans of today. Vance was critical of Trump's proposed travel ban. Vance previously blamed U.S. businesses on the border crisis. In March of 2021, Vance wrote that the, quote, matters of the universe, end quote, and the need for, quote, cheap foreign labor resulted in the border crisis. Interesting. Vance said illegal immigration is, a, quote, about money and cheap labor for business leaders. Oh. Uh-oh. Is it? Never could have seen that coming. Vance said, we didn't look at what was and Mexico's gonna pay for it. In Mexico. Well, I mean, we looked at what Florida looked like when they put in those additional like bans on immigration, right? Not good. Vance said, quote, "We should take a page from President Trump's playbook and call this what it is," end quote, despite accusations from some that it is racist to criticize Biden's immigration policies. Social and cultural issues. Vance has previously taken positions that undermine the religious right. Vance attacked 2012 GOP candidates for missing the mark on evolution. Oh, what? I don't know how America has... I mean, we have people in... I can't say that. As much as I'm like, I can't believe America has people in office that are like authors for answers in Genesis. And then I turned around and looked at Alberta, who recently just said something along the lines of that America is chemtrail bombing Alberta. And I'm like, that. Okay, lady. You fucking nutter. That lady's crazy. Alberta needs to stop. God damn it. Alberta, frequently known as the Texas of Canada. Vance criticized GOP presidential candidates opposed to the federal marriage amendment, which he said would rip, quote, apart new families. Foreign policy. Vance criticized the Trump administration for the airstrike that killed Qasem Soleimani. In 2020, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so forgive me, but... In 2020, Vance criticized President Trump's airstriking, killing Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, worrying that would continue to bog down America in the Middle East to the advantage of China. Vance suggested that the country had been entangled in wars in the Middle East, so, quote, financial elites could profit from the rise of China. Interesting. Vance has made controversial remarks concerning Chinese patriotism. Vance previously claimed that Chinese nationals were more patriotic than U.S. nationals. That's funny. That's funny. I wonder if Vance had a hand in all of the anti-China stuff that's in Project 2025. Vance appears to have flip-flopped on his support for the Iraq War. Vance appears to have embraced non-interventionism. Vance has been one of the chief obstructionists to U.S. efforts to provide assistance to Ukraine. Notable vulnerabilities with moderates. Policy. Vance has taken a populist view on global free trade agreements. Vance supports the trade policies different from free trade. Vance opposed completely unwinding trade agreements, noting, quote, factories still aren't coming back. Vance has criticized... Live in the now. Vance has criticized the idea that bad trade deals, including with countries like China, were to blame for job losses. Vance, quote, it's not that we have these terrible trade deals with China, it's just that a lot of things. Okay. That's a weird cutoff, but sure. Vance appears to have once called for slashing Social Security and Medicare. Vance is opposed to providing child care assistance to low-income Americans. Vance opposed Biden's plan to expand child care to low- and moderate-income families. After his wife gave birth to their first child, Vance was living in Columbus while his wife lived in Washington, D.C. with her mother. I wonder why. Vance appears to oppose student loan forgiveness programs. Vance criticized student loan debt forgiveness proposals. However, Vance indicated support for Hillary Clinton's free college plan. Vance is opposed to expanding healthcare access to all Americans. Vance expressed a series of controversial views during the COVID pandemic. Vance criticized Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer for allowing abortion clinics to stay open under her COVID-19 lockdown order. Vance criticized public health experts and elected officials for supporting Black Lives Matter protests while condemning anti-lockdown protests. Vance supports placing restrictions on abortion access. Vance supported Georgia's heartbeat bill. Vance opposes third trimester abortions. Vance has stated he does not support abortion exceptions in the case of rape. Social and cultural issues. Vance has expressed controversial views concerning American universities. Vance has pushed pseudo-Christian values encouraging the traditional nuclear family. Vance appears to support laws requiring business to close on Sunday. Yeah, I don't hate the idea of closing on Sunday or closing one day of a week. I also don't hate the idea of the whole country just shutting down for a month. Like, I thought the shutdowns were actually kind of good for everybody, and like France does it in August. Like, nobody works in August in France. So, like, I don't know why we don't just have a month off once a year at least. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And like, if you really needed to, you could just stagger that month, right? So like, these guys get this month off here. These guys get this month off here. Grocery stores are closed at weird times. You know what I mean? Like, everybody just... Essential workers get paid more because they're essential. You know what I mean? No? If you're working during that month, you get, like, a bonus? No? I cry. Vance appears to oppose the legislation of marijuana. Sorry, the legalization of marijuana. I've seen his eyeliner. That dude has smoked marijuana. No work October. I'd take no work October. No work October would be solid. Yeah, would you pick October? September would be nice. Vance push. Wake me up when September ends. There we go. Everybody goes and takes a nap for September. And oh my god, the kids get July and August off, and then all the adults get, everybody outside of school gets September off. So like the first month back at school, you get to vibe. No? I think that sounds like a great idea. We just treat September as if COVID was back. We'll call it like COVID-tember or whatever, and then nobody has to. Everybody just treats September as if it was like the first COVID shutdown. No. Hey, listen. No. That month does not take up your vacation time. You still get your vacation time. You still get that. And you get to use it however you want and however you please. You still get your sick days. You still get to use those. This month is just a nationwide, everybody's just like, nah. The whole heartbeat bill makes you scream. It's murder if there's a heartbeat, but you can't get a D&C if there's no heartbeat. Yeah, no, the heartbeat bill is fucking disgusting. It's like, it's one of the worst unscientific pieces of parchment in Parliament I've ever seen. Teachers get $100,000 an hour for having to go back to school in September, but they can get a different month off. Well, they get July and August, right? So they still get the July and August off, right? I mean, teachers still do stuff during the summer months, but you know what I mean. Right? So, like, teachers get bonuses for starting in September, and anybody working in a grocery store or working in delivery gets a premium for working in September. Like, let's call it a $5 premium, right? So you get an additional $5 an hour if you're working that, but the grocery stores are still required to close earlier. And if you're working, like, at a bar or whatever. Yeah. You pay them enough so they don't need a summer job. Yes, absolutely. Take your highest paid football player of that state, take his entire salary and start per district, and then start divvying it up among the teachers at minimum. There in no world should a local football team have more money, or even a state football team have more money than an entire school district combined. Like, no. Fucking dumb. Anyway. Marijuana. Vance pushed Trump to nominate controversial figure Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Fuck you for that one. Vance has taken a series of controversial positions concerning race relations. Color me unsurprised. Vance has taken a series of other controversial opinions on various culture war topics. Vance criticized Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for complaining instead of having gratitude for their privilege. Oh. Vance said Trump's fight with the NFL over kneeling was a political win for Trump. That was the most ridiculous shit I have ever seen. Vance has ties to various controversial figures. Steve Bannon once called for Vance to become head of the Heritage Foundation. Oh, the Heritage Foundation. Project 2025? Go figure. Vance appears to have ties to Alex Jones. Good. Background information. Personal information, J.D. Vance. James David J.D. Vance, formerly James Donald Bowman. Bro changed his name like he's a rock star. Marital status, married. Partner, Usia Bala Vance. Children, 3. Voting Register Republic, Ohio. Education 2010 to 2013. JD Yale Law School. 2007 to 2009 was a BA in political science and philosophy in Ohio State University. Employment is going backwards, is 23 to president, is senator of the U.S. Senate, Ohio, 2019 to 2023, co-founder / partner Naira, 2017 to 2019, partner Revolution LLC, Rise of the Rest, 2016 to 2017, principal Mithril Capital, 2013 to 2015, attorney Sydney Austin LLP, 2003 to 2007, Marine, U.S. Marine Corps. Only if your name is Colin Kaepernick. Right? What a Chad. Associations. Former editor, Yale Law Journal. Former president, Yale Law Veterans Association. Military service, 2003 to 2007. U.S. Marine Corps. Election results, 2022 Senate State Ohio General 1. It's got a handful of websites, including jdvance.com, vancesenate.gov, Wikipedia, hypercollins.com, ballotpedia.org, justfacts.votesmart.org, social media, Facebook personal, Facebook campaign, Facebook official, Twitter campaign, Instagram personal, Instagram campaign, Instagram official, YouTube campaign, YouTube official, LinkedIn personal. Yo, it's got a YouTube channel. Should we look at JD Vance's YouTube channel? Is it gonna give me like a brain tumor? Probably. Election results. J.D. Vance has been serving the U.S. Senate from Ohio since winning his 2022 campaign. J.D. Vance, Republican representative, 2,192,114. Tim Ryan, Democrat, 1,939,489. Campaign finance since 2023. JD Vance has received an aggregate of $1,574,894.48 in total contributions for his re-election campaign. Vance transferred more than $160,000 from his fundraising committee and has also received hundreds of thousands of dollars from special interest groups, including the National Association of Convention Stores and the National Automobile Dealers Association. Vance has also received funding from corporations such as SpaceX. Who could have foreseen that? Honeywell and Comcast. Yeah, we love Comcast. It should also be noted that Vance has accepted funding from Republican PACs and groups who may be considered out of touch with the current party, like Mitch McConnell and Susan B. Anthony List. Further, Vance has begun to pay himself back for the loans he gave to his 2022 campaign, disbursing $700,000 in 2022 and an additional $614,500 in 2023. In 2022, Vance received an aggregate of $15,994,977.29 in total contributions for his campaign for the U.S. Senate. Vance personally loaned his campaign $1.4 million and received similarly large contributions from Republican-aligned committees, including the RNC and the NRSC, and the Republican Jewish Coalition. Vance additionally received large contributions from corporations such as Alteria, Nexteria, and Marathon Petroleum. Of note, Vance received funding from establishment PACs and groups such as Koch Industries, as well as leadership PACs of Roy Blunt, Lindsey Graham, and Mike Huckabee. It should also be noted that Vance has received thousands of dollars from individuals with a history of anti-Trump rhetoric like Ken Griffin and Paul Singer. Individually, Vance has contributed an aggregate of $15,325 to federal and statewide campaign committees. Federally, Vance has contributed $11,555 given to various Republicans from Ohio, including Rob Portman and Max Miller, as well as other prominent Republicans across the country, such as Blake Masters and Joe Kent. At the state level, Vance has contributed $4,100 to campaign committees in the state of Ohio, giving it entirely to Sharon Kennedy's campaign for the Ohio Supreme Court. Notable contributions. And here's like I'm not going to read through like the exact amounts, but since 2023, Vance has received an aggregate of $1,574,894.84 in total contributions for his campaign from the Senate. Here's who the recipients of that. There's recipients and then there's amounts, right? So the recipients are Vance Victory, Ohioans for JD, National Association of Convenience Stores, Boots Political Action Committee, Hill Vernon, Siriano John D., Sad Henry B. Murr, Sad Mara Letsia Miss, Mosen Greg, K. Allison, they're written backwards obviously, Armstrong Brian, Baker Daniel L., Witkoff Zachary D., Ousterhoust Douglas, Dixon Kenneth, Klein Russell B., Stir PAC, Space Exploration Technologies Corp., U.S. Energy of PAC, Schneider National Inc., Trans PAC, Vern Political Action Committee, Trieste Financial Corporation Federal, Tedsky PAC, Strategy PAC, Reclaim America PAC, Political Education Partners, Rob Shud Karen, National Automobile Dealers Association, Our Senate PAC, National Restaurant Association PAC, Republican Majority Fund, Hoberheiden Nick, Robinson Robert, Mortgage Bankers Association Political Action Committee, NACD Responsible Distribution PAC, Lodge John Miller, Let's Get to Work PAC, Marcia PAC, Honeywell International, Colehep Brent, Buskirk Christopher, American Optometric Association PAC, Comcast Corporation, and NBC Universal PAC, Alabama First, 1890 PAC, Association of Kentucky Fried Chicken Franchises PAC, CMR PAC, Continuing America's Strength and Security PAC, Common Values PAC, Kolek the PAC of Credit Union National Association, American Excellence, Bluegrass Committee, Davidson Luther, Susan B. Anthony List of Candidate Funds, Blue PAC Blue, Across the Blue Shield Association, National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Political Action Committee, Pork PAC, Robbie Shad Lewis, Saseo Jane, I think maybe, National Association Broadcasters Political Action Committee, Ranger PAC, Colbelt John, Calfee Fund for Good Government, Shore Charles, Walter Robert D., Mountaineer PAC, PAC Steve, Protect Ohio Values PAC, McKee Jack, Hannah David, Makowalski Bruce, Pogu, Richard, McFadden Carroll, Howders John, Soriano Mary, Young Donald, Sean Bryan, Zalter Bill, Toes Robert. You know what? Individual. Oh my God. Tollett Douglas, Suckland Rebecca, Tara Blanche Anita, Peterson David, Patel DePaul, Robertson Robert, again, another one, Miliano Constantino, Milo Debbie, Oders Gale, Jason Travis, McLean Stephen M, Key Corps Advocate Fund Federal, Huggin Robert, McLean Amy, Cole Hep Scott, Deckens Chad, Estabrook Ann, Hill David, Hannah Frank, and Dunn Michael. Note, the above tablet contains the aggregate contributions from the top 100 contributors to J.D. Vance 2028 campaign for the United States Senate. The full list of the total amount of contributors can be found here, and there's a link. Notable expenditures since 2023, Vance has distributed an aggregate of $929,395 and 95 cents for his campaign for president. Since 2023, Vance has repaid himself $614,500 for his 2022 loan, and in 2022, Vance repaid himself $700,000. And then there's his recipients for Senate, and I'm just going to scroll through them. You can pause and look if you want. There's himself, by the way, saying that he lent $14 million. $1.4 million. I'm just gonna let you guys read through these because I'm not gonna go through all of them because that'll take me way too fucking long. But feel free to pause and take a look. I will also make sure that this document is available like on the Discord. I don't know if there's another way I can make it available, but I can try. So let me know if you guys need it in some. Find a way to reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to get hold of if you need the document. I'm assuming this is another 100. Yeah, I just read 100 contributors. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm kind of a big deal. Holy jeez. $5 billion. Yeah, you'd think that there would be like restrictions on the amount of money in politics, and there definitely is not. This is just corruption, the scroll. That's all this is. God damn. A fine example of why you need campaign finance reforms. Yeah, America really needs to change like the length of time you're allowed to campaign for, as well as like the amount of money you're allowed to have. Note, the above table contains the aggregate contributions from the top 500 contributors to J.D. Vance from 2022 campaign for the United States Senate. A full list of the total amount of contributors can be found here. Notable mega donors with a history of anti-Trump rhetoric or action. Since 2021, Vance has received at least $5,800 in aggregate contributions from notable political mega donors with a history of anti-Trump rhetoric or actions. In 2022, Vance received $2,900 from Ken Griffin, founder of the Chief Executive Officer of Citadel LLC. In November of 2022, Griffin stated he would support Governor Ron DeSantis for the 2024 Republican Party presidential nomination and declined to support Trump, saying, quote, "I think it's time to move on to the next generation." Quote, politically, he's also tied to Donald Trump. Griffin likes his fiscal policies well in the White House, but his only financial support to Trump came in donating $100,000 to his inaugural committee. Quote, he did a lot of things really well and missed the mark on some important areas, Griffin said. And for a litany of reasons, I think it's time to move on to the next generation. End quote. While he's supporting one of this cycle's biggest cultural warriors, DeSantis, Griffin said most hot-button issues, abortion rights, battle over sex education, and LGBTQ rights, don't define his interests. He wants to improve the diversity of the GOP and blunt the vein of populism that has complicated the party's relationship with the corporate world, two things he consulted with the House Minority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, about. In 2022, Vance received $2,900 from Paul Singer, co-chief executive officer of Elliott Investment Management. In October of 2017, Singer was reported as a major funder for the Washington Free Beacon, a conservative news outlet with establishment Republican ties, which reportedly hired the political research firm Fusion GPS to produce negative information against Trump during the 2016 election. Quote, a conservative website with strong ties to the Republican establishment triggered the investigation into Trump's past that ultimately produced the dossier that alleged a compromised relationship between the president and the Kremlin. The Washington Free Beacon on Friday confirmed it originally retained the political research from Fusion GPS to scour then-candidate Trump's background for negative information, a common practice known as opposition research in politics. Leaders from the Free Beacon, which is funded largely by Republican billionaire Paul Singer, insisted none of the early material it collected appeared in the dossier released later in the year, detailing explosive allegations, many uncorroborated, about Trump's compiled by a former British spy, ellipses. The Washington Free Beacon was initially founded as a project of conservative nonprofit group Center of American Freedom. Can you imagine there was once a nonprofit, like a freedom nonprofit Center of American Freedom for in America? Like, what the fuck? The Center of American Freedom was organized, as an alternate to liberal news sites run by progressive nonprofits. That makes more sense. The Center for American Freedom was organized as a 501c4 and did not reveal its donors, but Singer was the sole funder of the site as recently as 2014, according to the Republican political veteran familiar with the site. The veteran spoke on conditions of anonymity to detail the newspaper's financial background. The Free Beacon first retained Fusion to investigate Trump in fall of 2015 and ended its relationship after Trump secured the Republican presidential nomination in late spring of 2016, according to the person close to Goldfarb, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share private discussions. The website and its leaders have strong ties throughout the Republican establishment. Goldfarb was deputy communications director on John McCain's presidential campaign. Singer was backing Florida Senator Mark Rubio's presidential bid at the time of the Free Beacon's involvement, and one of Singer's closest associates, Republican operative Dan Senior, served as Speaker Ryan's chief advisor during the 2012 presidential campaign. A representative to Singer did not immediately respond to a request for comment, end quote. Individual contributions. Federal Election Commission. According to the Federal Election Commission, Vance has contributed an aggregate of $11,225 to federal campaign committees. In 2021, Vance contributed $5,800 to Blake Masters for Senate. In 2021, Vance contributed $2,900 to Max Miller for Congress. In 2021, Vance contributed $1,000 to Joe Kennett for Congress. In 2019, Vance contributed $1,000 to Portman for Senate. In 2020, Vance contributed $500 to Driscoll for Congress. In 2021, Vance contributed $25 to Wen Reed. And in 2021, Vance earmarked $25 to his campaign. It's weird to me that people from other that other people in politics are allowed to contribute money to other people running for politics. That's bizarre. Ohio Secretary of State. According to the Ohio Secretary of State, Vance has contributed an aggregate of X dollars to campaign committees in the state of Ohio. In 2021, Vance contributed $4,100 to Kennedy for Ohio. And then we're into his voting records. So I'm going to stop there. That's all of his financial stuff. We'll go into his voting records next time. You can hear my throat starting to go. So I am going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back doing art later today on Twitch. I will also be back playing more Supermarket Simulator on Twitch, so if you want to join me live, links are in the description down below. Also, On Friday, it is Volcano Show, so come and hang out with Manya and Landon and myself to check out volcanoes, and it will be Star Trek Lexington. Let's fucking go. Over on Top Hats Off, I am playing the Good Doctor in Star Trek. It's fun as hell. Come and join us. It's a great time. Also, Saturday is our very first Living with Philosophy episode. So please, 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 please mark that off. Please, please, please hit the notification bell. Please, please, please come and join and share. It's going to be a really, really good time. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to get out of here and give my throat a break. Thank you so much. And we'll be back doing this again next Thursday. So we'll continue to look at this. For anybody who's following along at home, we read 47 pages today. Good job on us. That is 47 out of 271 inside of the PDF. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want this document, feel free to hit me up or check the Discord. And I will see you guys later on Twitch or tomorrow. Bye-bye.